Black Light, Guiding Light, Cyberspace Ministry, the Aboriginal Universal Supreme Conscious Council of the Elders, talking about Master Farad Muhammad. One point I want to bring out in talking about Master Farad Muhammad is that some say the man was an Arab, some say the man was white, but he was of mixed blood, black. Y'all call him biracial now. They used to call him half-breed or whatever, you know. But he looked at that he could have been like a light complected, olive colored Arab. But he came straight over here to talk to the black man, to tell the black man who the black man was, because he had lost the knowledge of his culture, himself, and everything. And there are those of us who only got one view of Africa. And mostly it's around Central Africa, South Africa. But Africa was also in Arabia, the Upper Peninsula, Mecca. But see, they didn't call it Africa. They called it, the whole planet was called Asia. And other times it was called Moon. Then sometimes it was called Akibalan. Some other time it was called something else. But they settled on Africa. And the culture were many cultures, but they all had a belief in a supreme being. Now, some cultures was advanced higher than others, but Master Farad Muhammad was teaching the culture further back than ancient Kemet, and where we were scientists, and he was giving us the root of civilization, and he passed his knowledge on to Elijah Muhammad. Now, if he was an enemy or a con man, he wouldn't did that. He wouldn't have build your confidence up like that, and he wouldn't have talked against his own mother's people, which were Caucasian, which he wasn't really talking against them. He was just really merely pointing out the fact that they were grafted from us, and their culture was that of wickedness and lies. But you can't convert them, as we see today, into Islam. But their nature is to corrupt. So quite naturally, they're going to take what the brothers call now the Mayat principle and corrupt it. And at various times, we, man and mankind, get uncivilized. And the Arabs, so-called Arabs, started going savage, uncivilized, and they start killing up their females, and so that's when every time that happens, a prophet or a savior or a messenger comes to bring us back into civilization, to the highest form of existence. And so the prophet Muhammad, 1400 years ago, came to raise up the so-called Arabs. Some say he was black, some say he was Caucasian. I really don't know, because he never did use a picture of himself, have a picture of himself. But whatever color the Prophet Muhammad did, he did try to install, whatever color the Prophet Muhammad was, he did try to install the principles of Islam, which is merely mayat, which is really where you can get Christianity came from it, and Islam came from it, and all the other major and minor religions that's on the planet came from one. And Akhenaten, who was a so-called pharaoh, he had Aten as the supreme being, Aten. And I got songs and psalms that he wrote about Aten. So it always be a prophet to rise up the lost found people that went astray. Everybody else coming over here as prisoners of war and adopting the slave master's culture, we began to lose civilization, because the plantation still had traits of that caveman mentality in him. And even though sometimes he would say he a Christian, he would go off just like now. Look at all the Catholic priests that are pedophiles, homosexuals, just like in the church. Look at all the choir boys and the pastors and the ministers that are actually practicing homosexuality and pedophiles. And some of them practice bestiality. It's in their genes. So Master Farad Muhammad came to save us from that type of practice, to put us on the right track. And our people rejected him and the messenger. But there was a tiny bit that didn't. And I never did reject him myself. Some of y'all right now are rejecting what I'm saying, his teachings, because it seems far-fetched to you. Because the only one that ever taught you anything was the former caveman we call the Caucasian, the Caucasoid, or the grafted devil. And you depend on him for your bread and butter. So you're not going to go against what he taught you, what he teaches. Matter of fact, There are some of you who don't even believe there's a devil, and some of you don't even believe that you are the only one that can come out of this condition that you're in and rise to a higher being, into the mind of the Most High. Some say Allah, I say Allah too. Black light out.